think you're a splendid gentleman.
I think a lot of people in the league would agree with me that he is in fact an idiot.
Don't give him
You
the
know what?
satisfaction.
You know
I would too, actually, but
that's
my thing.
I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
I'm also not going to say you're wrong. But I still love you, Moy.
All right, let's go ahead and begin.
Is it recording? Hello and welcome to Livin La Liga Loca.
Your first and only source of news for La Primera Liga Bautista Hispana.
Tirelessly giving you the news week after week.
Accurately and impactful.
Without missing a beat. I'm Kurt.
And I'm Joshua.
We got a great episode for you today where we do, quite frankly, the same thing we do every episode.
Yep.
But first, a very special edition of The Commish Dish. Take it away, Kurt.
Howdy, y'all. This is Sheriff David, the new commissioner of, what's the league called? Primera Liga Bautista Hispana. Damn. As you guys know, Kurt is dead. He sleeps with the fishes. I killed him. I am your new commissioner. And that's why I'm here for this commish dish. We're going to give you some great announcements. Actually, a very big announcement. The biggest announcement you've seen yet. And who better to give the announcement than myself? David, the Vulture, Kacheeks. All right, let's get started. So, next year, not this season, I'm going to be very specific for those who are slow of mind, like Chill. Next year, we are going to become a keepers league. So, what that means is you're going to keep one of the players that you get. Now, very clear, let's get this out of the way. None of the players that you have now will be in your squad next year. So the way it's going to work, you will be able to choose your keeper for next season. Not this season, but the next season. So we're going to go over like the small details of what that entails. But just make sure you watch this episode. Make sure to hit like, subscribe. I don't know why these clowns have never done that. We need more viewers. We need more respect. This channel deserves the love that it's never gotten. That's why I'm here, all right? So hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, and diss everyone in the comments. I love you guys. All right, so next season, 2025 through 2026, each manager will be able to select, wow, really? Beautiful moment. I'm sorry, Josh was in the bathroom. We're great. All right, cool, let's do this. All right, next season, 2025 through 2026, each manager will be allowed to select.
You want to pause?
So, next season, 2025 to 2026, each manager will be able to select one player from their squad to be their keeper. What that means is you'll be able to keep that player basically for the rest of time, till eternity, till the player dies. Hopefully he doesn't die too soon. But, so you have to tell your glorious commissioner. Like I said, he sleeps with the fishes, but Commissioner Kurt, you're going to tell him who your keeper is one day before the draft. So just keep thinking about it. This is going to be very important. Your draft next season is going to be super important. Don't draft like a clown like you did this time. Hopefully you learn from your mistakes. Don't go for goalies on your first round. Who does that? All right. All right, so the player you decide to have as a keeper has to be drafted in either the third round or later. So I drafted Rantanen in the first round. That can't be my keeper because that was the first round. I don't know. Kirill Kaprizov got drafted on the second round. He's not on a good team, but he got drafted in the second round. He cannot be his keeper either. So let's say, I don't know, who got drafted in the third round? I don't know. Some nobody. There must be some names here. Let's say you want to get your goalie as your keeper. I think Swayman was drafted on the third round. Swayman would probably be a good keeper for you.
Hellebuck was rounded.
Damn. Hellebuck how was Hellebuck on the third round? And oh my gosh, guys. like I said, draft better next season. All right, so Hellebuck was a 3rd-round pick. That can be Ben's keeper, technically. Like I said, nothing that happened this season will be for Keepers League. But if that happens again, where Connor Hellebuck gets drafted on the 3rd round, that can be your keeper. Boom. What a great keeper Ben could have. All right, so in future drafts, all right, there's some examples here. I don't know who wrote this. Terrible writing. All right, so, here's a great example. For example, if I draft Evan Bouchard in the 3rd round 1 year and decide to keep him in the next draft, you will lose your 3rd round pick. So that's how this works. Once again, let's go with the Hellebuck example. Connor Hellebuck gets drafted, boom, 3rd round. And then you decide that to be your keeper. He's going to be your keeper for the 2026 season and on, so 2026 to 2027 season. You can keep him for as long as you want, until he dies, until he retires. I don't know, do whatever you want. But if he was drafted on the 3rd round, you will not have a 3rd round draft pick for the next season. I don't know if that kind of makes sense. Let's say, for example, here's another example. Let's say I take Celebrini in the 5th round. That would be a great keeper, as a matter of fact. If you guys don't know, he was like the 1st round pick in the NHL this season. So he's probably going to be an all-star, like a great superstar for the future. He can be your keeper. And let's say he's drafted on the 5th round, and I decide to keep him for the season after. I will no longer have a 5th round pick. So that's basically the payoff. You keep your keeper wherever you drafted him. You will not have a pick in that pick in that specific round. So just look out in like the actual draft. That's super easy to do in the Yahoo Fantasy app. Just go through the draft. You can see what players were drafted on each round. There's some great players even in like the 6th round, the 5th round. Like drafting Connor Bedard, he's probably going to have to go a little earlier than usual, given that it's going to become a keepers league. But let's say he gets drafted on the 4th round. That can be the keeper, but that person will not have a 4th round pick for the next season. And that's really it. That's the idea of it. Now, another important thing to mention, if let's say I pick up a great player from the free agency or the waiver wire, I can have that as my keeper, and I will only lose my 12th round pick. So that, what a steal that would be. Let's say some clown drops someone like Austin Matthews, and he's in the waiver wire. If you pick him up, he can be your keeper, and you would only lose a 12th round pick. That's crazy. So, keep this in mind. Watch this episode. This is going to be super important. If you have any questions, just direct them to the oh-so-glorious Commissioner Kurt, and he can answer any of your questions. Hopefully, this just makes the league even more interesting. I don't think we're ready for it, because there's a lot of sort of dumb mistakes, to say the least. Hopefully, they don't happen this time. They probably will. But draft better, and then you might have a great keeper for the rest of your life, for the rest of the season. Now, I know some clowns out there will not make good decisions. That's why I'm here for it. I'm ready to sell. I'm probably going to go get some 3rd round picks. Let's see. Who can give me a 3rd round pick? Moy? I'm here, baby. Leo? I'm here, baby. David? I'm here. All those losers in the bottom 6, just give me your 3rd round pick so I can have a good keeper for next season, all right? So, thank you for joining us. Like I said, hit like, hit subscribe, share this video to all your loved ones, and hopefully your mother loves you tomorrow.
Thanks, David.
Go.
Are you started? Is it started?
No, I just kept it rolling.
Oh my goodness, okay. Anyway.
I like that he gave no indication that we should start.
I know.
He's
I know. He's the
literally
worst
paused
cameraman.
here, like, I'm gonna press the button now. I'm gonna press the button now. Go. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's recording.
Idiots. Such an eloquent speaker, that David.
Incredible. I love him.
Wow.
It's gonna suck if it's not actually David.
Wow. It'll be David.
Unless he has something to do,
Till
like
he
cook a
bails.
turkey.
Like always.
Like always.
Well, that brings us to the part of the show where we recap last week.
2 weeks.
We should do last week. Let's not get ambitious here.
We should do 2 weeks. Everyone is expecting 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks ago, the results were as follows. Knicks' matchless team triumphed over Kings Nation. What do you think about that, Joshua?
I think he tried.
Insightful. David the Vulture Kachik's triumphed over the Cracker Cruncher. Joshua, what do you think about that?
Great.
Heavy stuff. Puck, or a Buttercup, triumphed over the Alphas. Joshua, what did you see in that match?
I saw him
Wow,
triumph.
and then Embrace the Suck defeated the Heart Knock Life. Joshua, what happened in that match?
Did
You were
not like
involved
it.
in that.
Did not like it.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. I didn't like my match this week either.
Uh-huh.
And then the Aurelian Empire beat then named Benton's Best Team. In fact, one might say that was the match that made him change the name. Joshua, what'd you see there? Yeah, that's what I felt too.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which namely, unfortunately, we did not have an episode last week, although I was the bozo of the week. Bozo watch. I was the bozo because Jason defeated me. That was not why I was the bozo of the week, because Jason actually had the highest score. I was the bozo of the week for doubting Jason. And then maybe I'm the bozo for this week too, for stopping doubting Jason because Jason once again lost. But we'll get to that when we get to
I
it.
love that was the only one that you went like deep into.
What did you see in that match, Joshua?
Everything.
All right,
that
so
you
let's go to our recap for this week here. The first match in this past week was between Willie and the boys
Willie and the boys.
and the Alphas.
The Alphas.
Now this is a great match here. Two besties, Jason and Cheo. What did you see here, Joshua? For real
Well,
this time.
This is week 9 that we're talking about, right?
That
This
is correct.
Last week. So Willie and the boys, he wasn't gonna keep on winning, you know.
Yeah, it's hard
streaks
to
have
win
got
4 in
end.
a row. It's hard to win
Streaks
4 in
have
a
got
row.
to end,
Uh-huh.
but I think he's already put up a great record so far with just those 3 victories. Definitely showing he's not out of the
You know,
conversation.
it put him back in for sure. It put him right back in the conversation.
Absolutely. And like I said, he's one of the greatest managers for a reason. You know?
I think he's probably the best in the league.
I
think he's
do
probably
like
the best in the
Jason,
league.
don't get me wrong, but I'm not saying he's the best because just I like him. Like he knows a lot. He knows how hockey works. He knows the ins and outs of a ton of teams. He knows
And the ups and downs.
I heard
And the lefts and rights.
I heard his main news source, RotoWire.
Oh, I'm actually glad you brought that. That does bring us. This episode is brought to you by the fine folks at RotoWire.
RotoWire, for watching, please actually do sponsor us. I'm a huge fan.
Get wired up with the Roto.
Wire. All right, but anyway,
So the next one I have on my list here.
we didn't commentate on it.
Oh, I thought we did.
No,
I
okay,
thought
well,
we said Jason's
Alphas
the
won. Great job, Cheo. Cheo, another team that's really like coming up again and again.
You know, I doubted Joe hard.
we're not talking
Hard.
about him enough. Like as good of a chance that other people have, like Cheo has just as good a chance of making it into playoffs. And he's not
for sure.
someone
I
that anybody's talking about too much. We need to look
I
more
saw
at
just
him.
now he is one of the highest scoring teams in the league.
Absolutely. But we
Outstanding.
are not talking about him. We are underestimating him. We are letting him get away with too much. And I think someone needs to start doing something about it.
We've got our eyes on you, Joe.
Maybe new sheriff in town.
Maybe so. We'll get to that.
We'll get to
that. All right, next we have on my list here. I have the match between the reigning Conqueror and the Heart Knock Life. What happened there?
Honestly, it was a series of very unfortunate events. I've told you earlier.
By Lemony Snicket.
No, by Joshua.
Oh.
By Joshua and the team of the Heart Knock Life. I told you earlier, I'm just collecting every kind of injury there is at this point. I've got an illness on my team. I've got a knee injury that I've already traded off. I've got 2 injured reserve players. I had to drop another injured reserve player and the thing is, like, it's not coming in the middle.
Which one was that? Maybe I want to pick him up and stash him.
You don't.
Oh, okay.
You don't.
Oh, then it seems like it's not that big of a deal.
It was Zuccarello. Zuccarello. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But anyway.
The Zuccarelian Empire. So
So
you're collecting all the injuries.
I am collecting.
Much like an aspiring Pokemon master.
Yeah.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta injure them all. But
That sounds devious.
and like the thing is that I was saying is that it isn't happening in the middle or the end of the week or anything like that. Well, Anderson happened at the end of the, not Anderson.
Decord.
Decord happened at the end of the week. Seguin, I think that's how you say his name.
Sagan.
There you go. Sagan, right off the bat, like Monday morning, way before his game, put on injured reserve.
Hurts.
It killed me, man. It killed me. Honestly, I didn't even watch that game because apparently they had announced that he's going to be put on IR like during that game or like right after.
Brutal.
And I didn't watch the game, so I just missed out on those points. And, you know, Ben's team, you know, he does have a pretty decent team, but he did not score as high as the reigning Connor would, you know, that name would indicate. Like, he really did it.
You know who would sound funny pronouncing that name?
Who?
A dog. The reigning conqueror.
I hate you, dude. I hate you so much. But, so, like, he is putting up a decent amount of points, but not an unbeatable amount of points. If I had my guys, I would have been fine. And I think I've said everything there is to say on that match. So we should probably proceed to the next one.
We need to cut. And we're back.
Dude, you're so dumb. Okay.
This is so wrong. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
So next, Joshua, on the list, we have the Battle of the Bold, as everyone was calling it. Puck, or Buttercup, and King's Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Joshua, normally I ask you what you saw here, but here's what I'm going to say that I saw here. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Bozo Watch!
Okay.
King's Nation has officially been named to the Bozo list this week. Nice graphic. King's Nation, little dunce cap on it, maybe a clown nose in the middle of it.
We haven't taken any pictures.
You're a good editor. No. Literally the word King's Nation.
Okay.
The title, the name.
Okay.
The honorific.
Okay.
The moniker.
Okay.
The pseudonym. With a nose in the middle and a dunce cap on top.
No.
Joshua, ask me why he is the Bozo Watch.
I
person
think
today.
I know why, but please explain to me why he is the Bozo Watch of this week.
He's Bozo Watch this week because he came in with a plan, and it seemed like it was a solid plan for a while there. His plan was, I am going to draft in the first 2 rounds 2 starting goalies. Joshua, what has he traded away?
2 starting goalies.
2 starting goalies, aka his first 2 picks. So he had a plan, and he said, nope.
Yeah.
I'm donezo.
And that's the kind of crazy thing to me, because his whole reason that he gave us for picking him was like, well, I struggled the whole season
And
without
he said goalies put up points like crazy.
And he just abandoned them already. You know, and to be fair, honestly, I don't think it's that fair, but he has mentioned to me, I don't know if we've already put this on an episode itself. There was one that we recorded that we obviously didn't put up, but in case it wasn't already mentioned, he did mention to me that he has not won since coming up on the show. And I think maybe that is the reason why he's like, well, you know what? I got to undo everything that I did.
Well, you know what? Jason came on the show, and I believe he won his next 3 weeks.
He did in fact do that.
It's a double-edged sword, this show. You never know what you're going to get, you know? It's kind of like, it's like a Kinder egg. Those have toys in them, right?
They do.
Yeah, it's like a Kinder egg.
Yeah.
Maybe a brat doll.
No.
A Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay. We go on to the next one.
Okay, so the next match was between David the Vulture, Kacheeks, and Embrace the Suck. Now, I'm going to stop right here and just say, there is a new sheriff in town. His name is David the Vulture Kacheeks. Comes out swinging this week, drops a 168-point game. You heard it here, folks. New sheriff in town, lesser David, regular David, as I call him
David now, yeah.
Sheriff David.
Sheriff David.
And there's not really much else to say about that. It's funny, Armando would have beaten about half of the league this week, and he just runs up against David the Conqueror. Not the Conqueror, the Conqueror.
The Conqueror.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sheriff.
That's the crazy thing, too. Very frequently when we see someone put up the highest amount of points, usually their opponent will be putting up a near amount of points too. Which, that happened between me and Cheo, and I said like, wow, it's kind of like a waste that I would put up this amount of points now.
I wish you could
when I
save
would
for the next week.
Exactly. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. The cookie crumbles. We haven't.
You missed 2 weeks and everything's a mess. The next match was between the Aurelian Empire and Mix's matchless team.
Yeah, really showing to be matchless now. How many wins is this now? It's quite a few.
Fifth win. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this puts Mix into a playoff position.
Yeah,
and, you got to give the guy credit. It was looking for a little bit like it was maybe time for concern. Maybe he's not making playoffs, but no, he's turned it around. He's
absolutely.
He's putting a nice streak together here.
Absolutely. He now has a positive record of 5-4, and like we knew his team was going to be doing better like later on into the season, but I think we didn't estimate how much better. And he's becoming a very, very, very scary guy to go against.
Yeah.
I got him next week, but we'll get into that later.
All right. And then the last match, as I like to call it, the Special Olympics of the week, was between yours truly, Commission Possible, which is looking less possible by the week, and the Cracker Cruncher, who failed to crunch a cracker this week.
Well,
so one might say we both wildly underperformed.
You did,
But
unfortunately.
I squeaked out a win. I just managed to hobble across the finish line a little bit faster than Moy. It's really about all there is to say about it. I'm not enjoying my team at the moment.
I mean, you won. A win is a win,
True.
Now just be worried for next week.
Speaking of which, next week we have Commission Possible versus the Alphas. Okay? Now, I don't even want us to predict anything. I don't want us to comment on anything.
I want to predict and comment.
I'm just going to make a very special message to my competitor next week, Cheo, and he'll know what this means. Cheo, the usual wager, my friend. Moving on, we have the Aurelian Empire versus Puck. Or a Buttercup.
Yes.
Now, what do you see here, Joshua?
The Aurelian Empire has been doing good. He's been doing pretty good throughout. However,
But
recently,
has he been doing well?
couldn't tell you. But recently, we've seen, a little bit of a dip from him. A little bit of a dip. And Puck, or Buttercup, it's hard to say.
Call him French, because he's a dip.
2 weeks out, and he's just delivering bangers, dude. Banger
I've
after
been
banger.
saving the sillies for 2 weeks now.
This is what stress does to you, dude. This is what stress does. For those of you guys who aren't fully aware, we're in the middle of a lot right now. There's a lot going on in kind of both of our lives. And we just have responsibilities that are really all...
I mean, I'm working on, kid number 3's coming up. Divorce number 6 is coming up. It's tough.
Already
it's tough.
happened. Already happened.
Wow.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, it will have already happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Holidays and everything, just a ton of stuff, really stressing us out. But we should
Really brings the comedy A game out.
Yeah. It brings the comedy, it brings out a game, for sure.
No, it brings out the A game.
No, it brings out a game. A game. Just a game.
We haven't been talking about fantasy for 4 minutes now.
Yeah.
This is going to be the worst episode ever.
No, they will be grateful that we put out anything, okay? You have no idea how hard it's been to just try to even record at home.
It's been rough.
It's been hard.
So who's winning, Aurelian Empire, Puck, or a Buttercup?
Man, you know what? I'm going to say Superior David. I'm going to say Puck or a Buttercup.
You know what's funny is that everything points to the Aurelian Empire winning, but there is just... You almost just feel something in the air that you just feel like it's going to go the other way.
I think that's been going on for everybody who's been high scoring in the previous weeks. I've been going down a bit. You mentioned that as soon as you hit first, you went down just a bit. Aurelian Empire, I mentioned before, he just had a little bit of a dip too. I think that's just going to be happening to all of us right now, which is good for those who have been scoring lesser, because a lot of them seem to be picking it up now. And I think Superior David is going to be one of those. I think he's going to walk away with a win this week.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. You heard it here. Official prediction from Livin, La Liga, Loca.
Yes.
All right, next we have the Cracker Cruncher versus Embrace the Suck. And, I got to tell you, I want Armando to win. I just want him to have some good luck finally. You look at the projections, he's projected to stomp the Cracker Cruncher, but again, I just have to tell you, there's something in the air, and I just think that the Cracker Cruncher takes it.
Actually, I think that something in the air would work in the favor of Armando here.
You think
because,
so?
Cracker Cruncher was undefeated for so long.
Cracker Cruncher's on a 4-game losing streak.
Well, let's make it a 5th game. Let's make it a 5th game losing streak. I think Armando comes out with a win.
And I'm gonna just kind of step away here.
Yeah.
Just to kind of comment generally here. I think that I have never seen the league rallied around hoping someone continues to just tank like a rock, like they have with Moy.
I mean,
they smell blood in the water, and they want nothing but bad for him.
And that's the thing. We're not just senselessly hating on Moy. The thing that made all of us upset was that after so many bozo decisions that were made, there was no punishment.
It really is.
There was no punishment.
It really is unfortunate in a way that Jason was winless for so long, because Bozo Watch could have been applied to Moy. Although, we did have that interview where we raked him over the coals. Let's be real. That
did happen.
Yeah. So
there was very little I can do to the Tibetan man.
Yeah.
It's been a few episodes that were like that for sure.
Yeah. All right. So moving on here, we have the reigning Connor versus David the Vulture Kacheeks, and you know what? No in-depth analysis needed. I already know who's taking this. It's the new sheriff in town, Sheriff David. You heard it here.
Already celebrating.
Official Livin La Liga Loca.
I've always said
prediction.
I've always said Kacheeks, great manager, great team, outstanding even. How was he not going to win?
And one might say the finest sheriff seen around these parts.
Definitely every player gets out with no injuries. Definitely.
You heard it here. You heard it here.
Absolutely.
All right, next we have Willie and the Boys versus Kings Nation. If I'm not mistaken, by the time this episode airs, that will be the 11th and 12th place teams competing.
Yeah.
And it says here that Willie and the Boys is projected to win by about 5 points. Now, something with Jason, really underrated. I don't think we talk about it enough on this show. He is a magician with, his score says this, and then boom, Sunday night, midnight rolls around, and all of a sudden his projection is like 20 points higher.
Yeah.
The guy knows what he's doing. So it's projected to be small. We'll see. But, I have to say, it is hard for me to cheer for someone who was just announced the new Bozo. Mm-hmm. One might call this match the Boz Off. That doesn't roll off the tongue.
It doesn't.
Well.
It doesn't. It was a great attempt for sure.
Yeah.
The letters work. The pronunciation did not.
The Bozof.
Is that what we're going with? Is that the one?
That's what you call someone who's very big and also dumb. A Bozof.
Okay, that makes more sense. There you go.
Anyway, I'm going to be honest. I don't know who wins this one.
Me neither.
This league, Jason and I were texting each other, and we both just feel like this league is going to give both of us aneurysms, because this league is maddening. You never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Never know.
And I kind of like it that way a little bit more too. Just because very first season that we had, you can kind of see who was better at this, who was not as good, who was lucky, who was just like flat out unlucky. But this one coming around, like, everybody knows what to do. Everybody's struggling to find the right people to fill in their spots, because everybody's picked up good players. What's left now is scraps. People you gotta take a chance on. Wow, that's pretty intense. But you just got people you really just gotta take a chance on. Nothing that you can really predict. Nothing you can say like, that's great, he's gone, like he's a hidden gem or this. Like, no, like, everybody knows everything, and that's, I think, what's led to this kind of shortage of good players this season so far.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which in a way is a great thing.
No, it's good.
On the other hand, we're all stressed out about it. Yeah. No one knows what to do.
I think it's cut years off my life, this league. It was worth it.
Yeah.
All right, and the final match here on this week's docket is between the Heart Not Life and Mix's Matchless team. Now, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you've got a battle on your hands here.
Oh, for sure.
You've got someone who's on the rise here. You know, I mean, he's making great decisions. He's going for it. You see him turning his season around, and then whoa, here he comes right into you on the very week that, as you have said, are collecting all the injuries.
Yeah, and like
Much
I mentioned,
like a Pokemon master.
and like you mentioned before, ignore that one. Like you mentioned before, you know,
Gotta catch them all.
something is in the air where a lot of these high-scoring players are on the decline. I am one of them. You know, with me being on the decline, Mix being on the rise, you know, it's really looking like to be in Mix's favor. Or at least it did until this morning. I was able to move some stuff around, meaning I actually looked at the schedule this time. And, you know, I was able to put up a bit of a number of games. I think he has one game over me still. And I think I've got some pretty good people that are going to give me a pretty decent chance. So while things do still seem to be in Mix's favor, I think the one getting the battle is going to be him.
I mean, I think it's going to be close, no matter what. I think
Absolutely, it's going to be close at the very
Who do
least.
you think is winning?
Shoot, you know. No, you know what? I'm winning. It's me.
And I am going to call this one. This is another. I think this is the second time I've done this year. Too close to call.
Real.
Too close to call.
All right.
I'm not
I
mistaken.
respect it. Totally understandable.
Yeah.
But out of pride of my team, it's me. I'm going to win.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining us once again. Sorry for the long absence, but we're happy to be back talking to the good people. This is Livin the Liga Loca.
You might want to grab your phone.
I'm
First.
Kurt.
And I'm Joshua. Grab your phone.
I messed up, gotta talk, editor's notes with Joshua.
Hey, welcome to Editor's Notes with Joshua. Remember how we hoped you wouldn't be seeing much of me? Well, guess who missed the video last week? It was us. Unfortunately, we had some more unforeseen stuff, or actually very foreseen, we just didn't do anything about it. We missed an episode last week, as you guys saw, and I'm here to tell you that unfortunately, we're probably going to be missing another episode this coming week. Few reasons, you know, like Kurt mentioned on the video, he's there in that process of having that third baby. You know, very exciting stuff, but for a while we probably won't be able to have much videos. Or the alternative is we have somebody else help us with hosting the episodes. We'll kind of just play it by ear, see how that goes. It would be cool if we can do episodes, but I mean, we also have Cantata coming up. We have bigger holidays coming up. A ton of stuff going on, you know. We will try to at least put out a little bit of something for you guys, but I really can't make any promises. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, man. I just finished my semester, so hopefully I can at least put something together for you guys, like I said. But we'll see how it goes. We have a lot of fun doing this, and thank you guys for watching all the time, for asking when the next upload is going to be. Even though you insult me sometimes while doing it, but I still appreciate that you guys look forward to watching our stuff. That's pretty much it from me for today, though. A lot of fun, great stuff. We're all a little bit tired, but you know, we keep on going. Thank you guys. You guys have a good night.
You're the best, dude. You're the best, dude.
Oh my god.
So
Wow, really? Joshua's in the bathroom.